Yeah, yeah.
So, testosterone, and then I'll get to a call. Is testosterone behind part of the... Because everybody's angry, right? Blacks are encouraged to be angry more than anybody. Women, too, are encouraged to be angry. The gays are encouraged to be angry. They're encouraging everybody to fall into their emotions. But blacks, it's been happening for a long time. I feel like there is it's like a petri dish, a breeding ground for demons to enter their minds because they're fed by their mothers. Sometimes their fathers are not around or their fathers are beta. The schools, the friends, the pastors, the social media, the mainstream media, everybody's feeding them this stuff.
Yeah.
And so that's the root that I think of as the root of their anger and out of controlness. But some people say, oh, it's IQ. And then some people, and then I was thinking that it's testosterone too.
Well, the black people
because they have higher testosterone than the rest of us.
I actually have a theory too, but go ahead. I'll
and testosterone feeds aggression. I mean, I think.
Well, I think black people are probably the most type of people, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, who identify with their culture the most.
Yeah.
And the culture is so corrupt, especially in the black community. They have these gang rules that go against all moral anything, and they live by that. And not only just the gang members, but just the normal neighborhood people live by those same weird codes.
Yeah.
And then they all think in the same way. They all act in the same way. They're all influenced by each other, but then they hate each other.
Yeah.
So it's like this culture thing that is, I feel like, a huge influence. Now, testosterone, I'm not too sure.
I
don't know too much about it.
I heard from Lin Yun Chin that even the black women have the higher testosterone than the rest of the women, other races.
What is it exactly?
Men and women, it's a hormone. It's mostly... Men have more testosterone and women have more estrogen, but both have both.
I see.
That's what I heard.
Yeah.
Correct me if I'm wrong, Crishaun the Don.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I'm not a scientist.
And when you work out, you get more testosterone.
Yeah.
When you are younger, you have more testosterone as a younger man.
Yeah.
And it feeds aggression and S-word drive.
Yeah.
And it's good to have good, solid, high amount of testosterone, but if you don't have self-control, then...
Yeah.
Well,
go ahead.
To take it back to what Joel was saying, the culture thing.
Yeah.
I think the problem is that it's not, I say it all the time, blackness is not a real culture. As far as, like, if you were to ask black people to define black culture, you'll get 1,000 different answers that all kind of like contradict each other. You know what I mean? And then they kind of hide the thing of, like, for instance, hip hop music. They only want to point at like these conscious rappers that are so-called positive, but it's like, yeah, but 99% of it is
false
gangster
identity.
Right.
Even the so-called conscious stuff, it's kind of empty. But anyway, go ahead.
It's what they want blackness to be, as opposed to what it actually is.
Right.
I think that it's because they've unified behind something that isn't real. And that was why I was warning white people to not do the same thing, because there's no actual culture behind white or black. So what is they're proud of their culture, but what are they really proud of? It comes down to their skin color.
Right.
That's all it is. And that's such a ridiculous thing to be.
And a fairy tale about how they was kings, and a fairy tale about how they was oppressed.
Right.
Because both of those things are myths.
Yeah, and it is like this idea that we got to stick together. The world is against us, and if nobody's gonna look out for you if you don't, it's this weird, like, evil thing that's been going on.
And yet they hate each other the most too.
Yeah.
They kill each other the most, and they raise each other very badly. They don't stay together as real families. So it's a mess.
Yeah.
I'll tell you my theory. I don't think it's the testosterone thing. Now, people, this is just a theory.
Because let me briefly interrupt you.
Go ahead, please.
The reason I say that is because everybody is angry, right? But they've been given all these demons. Everybody has demons. and they've been given all these demons, and they've encouraged and celebrated these demons as good things. And then the testosterone may contribute to them being, because people's anger manifests in gay or over-sexual or effeminate or shy or fearful or vicious, violent, passive-aggressive, all kinds of different, oh, at least I'm loyal, when you're not actually loyal. And meanwhile, everybody's turning on you. Everybody thinks that they're right and everybody else is wrong, kind of.
Right.
So I think that's one of the symptoms that's more frequently associated with them.
I think the reason why I don't say it's just testosterone is because there's a lot of men that have, high testosterone levels that aren't violent. It doesn't always translate to violence and anger and all that type of stuff. It could be somebody who just likes to work out heavily and,
Yeah.
So my theory is this, right? I think it could possibly be from certain bloodlines being inbred. Now, if you
what do you mean by that? What's inbred?
Like inbreeding, where you
like
know,
inside
you
of too close
have
family
children
members?
Yes, have children with close family members.
Okay.
Now, supposedly, well, the reason why I kind of made that connection was the Middle East. Now, if you look up the Middle East and their inbreeding, you could probably pull up a map right now. Their inbreeding is like insane. We're talking like 80%
in
of some
America?
of those countries. No, in the Middle East.
Okay.
And parts of Africa as well, Northern Africa. Now, the thing is that Southern Africa, there's really like not too much stats as far as a lot of things for Southern Africa.
Yeah.
Because I assume it's just a mess. Nobody's keeping track. I would say that there's some inbreeding going on in Africa, and there has been for a long time. And then there was also talks of there being inbreeding during slavery.
Oh.
Which I think is a possibility because nobody like knew whose family was whose. They were just trying to breed, slaves.
Okay. So the masters were breeding the slaves and inbreeding inadvertently? Is that what you're suggesting?
I think they inadvertently inbred some of their slaves, and we might be seeing sort of some of the bloodlines from that, and that could be what's connected to the violence and the sexual deviance and all the the self-hatred and obsession with racism and skin color and stupid things. Because if you look at the Middle East, it's pretty much the same thing. It's just they don't have white people there to keep them in control. You get what I'm saying? Keep them in line. They try to, the Israelites, but see how that goes.
I don't know.
I think I'm just saying I think there's a reason why the Middle East is so violent, and I think the fact that it's so heavily inbred, and inbreeding does cause mental deformities and learning disabilities and stuff like that. I think it's a possibility that that's why the Middle East is the way it is. And they're allowed to inbreed in Islam.
Yeah. Oh, really?
Huh. Yeah, that's why the Middle East is so inbred. They're allowed to inbreed.
I didn't know that was happening. I knew that I had heard that had happened among many Jewish people back over the centuries. But I didn't know that was common amongst the Arab world.
Oh, dude, it's like so, it's so common that if you were a Muslim or if you were Middle Eastern and you met a woman, more than likely she's probably related to you. Like we're talking 80th percentile in certain countries. If you can look it up right now, I'll try to find.
No, I believe
the actual numbers, but Northern Africa is super inbred too.
So testosterone is not necessarily a bad thing.
No, it's a good thing, but it's also leads to aggression. I mean, it's associated with aggression, higher aggression.
So, but if the healthier you are, isn't it the more testosterone you have?
Yeah.
So then,
but there's supposed to be a limit, I think.
Oh, okay.
I don't know. I don't know if you can have too high.
So
of
I wonder if like the people who are out of control, wouldn't they have less? Like, wouldn't the blacks have less? Or you're saying their aggression is what making them have more?
I think that my casual theory, right?
Yeah.
Is that different people crop up with different issues from their sin, from their anger, And because of that higher testosterone, their anger manifests in this violence and aggression because they're very aggressive.
So, like, could we? I don't know if we could say the word.
Sex?
Yeah, on the air.
The S word?
All right,
Because they're very sexual too.
But doing it a lot, does that increase your testosterone?
I think if you do it too much, it decreases it. But if
okay.
you're working out a lot,
yeah,
or if you just naturally have a lot of testosterone, then
Yeah.
you have that higher drive.
well, that's why I'm confused why it might manifest its way through the blacks because they seem to do everything against all that. They have a lot of sex.
They work out a lot though. Some of them.
I bet they're
Very
born
physical.
with we're born with six packs.
Right. Yeah.
We do like 10 push-ups and then we're fit.
Right.
But I wonder, like, I don't know. I just never entertained the thought of testosterone. Maybe there is something in there, but
There
it's
was
just
something else
interesting.
related to testosterone that I wanted to mention that I forget now. Man. Let's keep it moving though, because it's not that important, honestly. It was just an idle thought that I really thought about bringing up.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Theory. Yeah.